same city, same decade, same middle-class jobs. But today, their lives look completely different. One person is 52 years old, still worrying about bills, still checking his bank account before every purchase. The other person can walk away from work tomorrow if they want. No stress, no panic, no financial pressure. The shocking part, they didn't earn dramatically different salaries. So what created the difference? It wasn't luck, it wasn't intelligence, and it definitely wasn't timing. It was a completely different way of thinking about money, a mindset that one generation quietly adopted and used to build massive wealth without anyone noticing. Today, we're breaking down exactly how Generation X thinks about money differently, why their strategy worked so well, and more importantly, how you can use the same principles starting today. I'm Sam, and this is Sam Invests. Before we talk about strategies, we need to understand something important about the environment Generation X grew up in. They entered adulthood during a time when financial information existed, but constant digital distraction did not. Learning about investing required real effort and intention. If someone wanted to understand the stock market, they didn't open social media or scroll through short videos. They went to libraries, read investing books, studied financial magazines, and followed the thinking of long-term investors like Warren Buffett. Because information moved slower, the learning process itself was deeper. Instead of reacting to headlines or trends, many Gen X investors built a solid foundation of knowledge by patiently understanding how businesses, markets, and long-term investing actually worked. That knowledge was quickly tested when the first major shock arrived, the dot-com crash of the early 2000s. During the late 1990s, technology stocks were rising rapidly, and many companies with little or no profits were being valued at enormous prices. When the bubble finally burst, thousands of tech companies collapsed almost overnight, and many stocks lost 80% or even 90% of their value. A large number of Gen X investors lost money during that period. But instead of abandoning investing completely, many of them treated the experience as a powerful lesson. They began studying their mistakes more seriously, learning how to distinguish between companies built on real earnings and businesses fueled only by hype and speculation. They realized that when everyone around you is talking about easy money, that is usually the exact moment when investors should become more cautious. Less than a decade later, another crisis arrived. The global financial crisis of 2008. Markets around the world collapsed, banks failed, and the S&P 500 dropped by more than 50%, creating fear across the entire financial system. Many investors panicked and sold their investments at the worst possible moment. However, research from major investment firms later revealed something surprising. Generation X had one of the lowest panic selling rates compared to other generations. The reason was simple. They understood what they owned. Years of slow learning and real experience had given them confidence in their long-term strategy. And when investors truly understand their investments, they are far less likely to panic when markets temporarily fall. That deep understanding became the foundation of how Gen X approached money, investing, and long-term wealth building. After building a strong understanding of markets and long-term investing, Generation X began applying one powerful principle to the rest of their financial life: diversification. Most people hear the word diversification and immediately think about investments, splitting money between stocks, bonds, or maybe real estate. But Gen X took this idea much further. Instead of only diversifying their investment portfolio, many of them diversified their entire economic life. They understood that relying on a single paycheck created a fragile system. If that one income source disappeared because of layoffs, economic downturns, or company problems, the entire household could suddenly face financial stress. Because of that, many Gen X households intentionally built multiple income streams over time. One partner might work a stable corporate job that provides benefits and a steady salary, while the other might run a small side business or freelance service that generates additional income. On top of that, some families gradually invested in assets like rental properties or small investments that could produce passive income each year. When you combine these streams together, something important happens. Instead of depending on one paycheck, the household now has several different financial engines working at the same time. If one slows down or temporarily stops, the others continue supporting the system. This structure creates something far more valuable than just higher income. It creates resilience. During economic downturns or periods of uncertainty, people who depend on only one source of income often feel immediate pressure and fear. But households with multiple income streams have flexibility. They can adapt, shift focus, and absorb financial shocks much more easily. That's why true financial security isn't just about how much money someone earns. It's about how many independent systems are supporting their financial life. And for many people in Generation X, building those systems quietly over time became one of the most powerful foundations of their long-term wealth. Another powerful habit that quietly helped Generation X build wealth was their refusal to perform wealth for others. In many cultures today, financial success is often displayed through visible upgrades, new cars, larger houses, expensive gadgets, and luxury vacations. But many Gen X households approached money very differently. Instead of trying to look wealthy on the outside, they focused on becoming financially secure on the inside. They were comfortable driving older cars that still worked perfectly, staying in the same homes for many years, and avoiding constant lifestyle upgrades every time their income increased. To outsiders, their lives often looked ordinary, sometimes even modest. But behind the scenes, their financial foundations were becoming stronger every year. This mindset created a powerful advantage over time. Every dollar that wasn't spent trying to impress others could instead be invested into assets that quietly grew in value. Rather than chasing social approval through spending, many Gen X investors viewed money through the lens of long-term opportunity. They understood that money used for consumption disappears quickly, but money invested has the ability to multiply over time. By keeping their lifestyle relatively stable even as their earnings improved, they allowed a larger portion of their income to flow toward investments, retirement accounts, and assets that would continue compounding for decades. This way of thinking also changed how they evaluated major purchases. Instead of simply asking, "Can I afford this?" they often asked a deeper question: "What will this money become if I invest it instead?" A purchase like a $45,000 car wasn't just a car, it represented the potential growth of that money over time. At an average return of around 8% per year, that same amount could grow to nearly $100,000 within a decade. When people begin seeing spending decisions through that long-term lens, their priorities naturally shift. Purchases become more intentional, investments become more consistent, and over time, that discipline quietly transforms ordinary income into lasting wealth. Another key principle that shaped the financial behavior of many Generation X investors was how they approached debt. Contrary to popular belief, Gen X was not completely against borrowing money. Instead, they were extremely selective about the type of debt they were willing to take on. They understood a simple but powerful rule: debt should only be used when it helps build wealth or acquire assets that can grow in value over time. Borrowing money to purchase a home, invest in real estate, or fund something that could generate income was often considered a strategic decision. In contrast, using debt to finance short-term consumption, such as furniture, electronics, or luxury items, was usually avoided because those purchases lose value quickly and do not create long-term financial benefits. This distinction between productive debt and consumer debt became a defining part of their financial mindset. Productive debt has the potential to create assets that either appreciate or produce income, which can eventually outweigh the cost of borrowing. Consumer debt, on the other hand, often creates the opposite effect. It ties future income to purchases that are already declining in value, adding financial pressure instead of building financial strength. By maintaining this discipline, many Gen X households kept their balance sheets healthier and avoided the cycle of constantly borrowing for lifestyle upgrades. Over time, this careful approach allowed them to direct more of their resources toward investments and long-term asset building. This mindset became especially important during the housing market collapse in 2008. When property prices fell sharply and uncertainty spread across the economy, many people became too fearful to take action. But some Gen X investors who had maintained strong financial positions saw the situation differently. With home values temporarily depressed and interest rates historically low, real estate suddenly became far more affordable. Those who had saved capital and managed their debt carefully were able to purchase properties at significant discounts. They weren't taking reckless risks. They were simply prepared for opportunities when others were forced to retreat. That preparation allowed them to turn a difficult economic moment into a long-term advantage. At the center of many successful financial journeys lies a lesson that sounds simple but is incredibly powerful: consistency. Unlike dramatic investment stories about people getting rich overnight, real wealth is usually built through small, repeated actions over long periods of time. Consider a simple example. If someone had invested $500 every month into a broad market index fund starting in 1998 and continued doing so without interruption, by 2024 they would have contributed roughly $156,000 of their own money. Yet because of long-term market growth and compound returns, that account could grow to around $500,000. This kind of result doesn't come from perfect stock picks or brilliant market timing. It comes from consistently showing up and investing month after month for many years. What makes this approach difficult is not the math, but the emotions involved. Markets do not rise smoothly. They move through cycles of excitement, fear, and uncertainty. During market crashes, recessions, or major global events, many investors feel the urge to stop investing or even sell their investments entirely. This is where long-term discipline becomes crucial. Generation X investors who stayed committed to their strategy during difficult periods often benefited the most when markets eventually recovered. By continuing to invest during downturns, when prices were lower, they were able to accumulate more assets that later increased in value as the economy improved. The encouraging part is that these principles are not limited to one generation. Anyone can begin applying them today, regardless of age or income level. The first step is improving financial understanding by studying reliable sources of knowledge, such as well-regarded books on investing and personal finance, rather than relying only on quick online opinions. The next step is strengthening financial stability by gradually building additional income sources, even if they start small. It's also helpful to rethink spending decisions by considering the long-term investment value of money before making large purchases. Finally, one of the most effective habits is to automate investing so that contributions happen regularly without requiring constant decisions. Over time, these small but consistent actions allow time and compound growth to do the heavy lifting in building long-term wealth. To understand the real lesson, let's go back to the two neighbors we talked about at the beginning. The first neighbor followed the script that society often promotes. As his income increased, his spending increased as well. He upgraded his car, improved his lifestyle, and tried to show visible signs of success that people around him could see. On the surface, everything looked impressive. His life appeared comfortable and successful from the outside, but underneath that appearance, the financial foundation was weak. Much of his income was tied to maintaining that lifestyle, leaving little room for long-term security or financial freedom. The second neighbor quietly followed a very different path. Instead of constantly upgrading, she focused on building stability. She drove the older car that still worked, invested consistently, avoided unnecessary debt, and slowly created multiple sources of income over time. There was no attention, no applause, and nothing flashy about her choices. Yet year after year, those small, disciplined decisions began to compound into something far more valuable than appearances: freedom. Real wealth is not defined by luxury or expensive possessions. It's defined by options. The option to step away from a job, to spend time the way you choose, and to live without constant financial pressure. And the truth is, the strategies that build that kind of life are not complicated. They simply require patience, discipline, and the willingness to play the long game. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to Sam Invests, where we break down practical money ideas every week to help you build real, lasting wealth. I'll see you in the next video.